guys, it's Amy. Welcome back to Too Blessed. I wanted to share another recipe with you guys today. One that is super quick and easy and incredibly good. So I am sharing my recipe for cream cheese Alfredo sauce. And I went ahead and started it so that you wouldn't have to sit and watch the boring parts. So we're gonna just jump into this. What I've got in my pan here is a stick of butter and an 8-ounce block of cream cheese. And I've just melted those together. All right, now I'm gonna start adding some seasonings. Now the original recipe only called for garlic, but if you've been around and seen any of my recipe videos, you know I like to add a lot of other things. So right now I'm adding some pepper. I'm going to add a little bit of onion powder. And no, I don't measure anything. I'm also going to add some garlic powder. Keep stirring so that doesn't get scorched. And then I'm going to add some parsley, if I can get my parsley open. And we're just going to dump some in. Okay, now the rest of the ingredients. This is just so easy. Now we're going to add 1.5 cups of milk. Now traditional Alfredo sauce is usually made with like heavy cream, but since we're using the cream cheese, we don't need the heavy cream. So I'm just using 2% milk for this. I just put in 1/2 cup to start with. And you can see it looks kind of gross. But as everything melts and comes together, it'll start looking much nicer. So I like to put in just a little bit of the milk and kind of work it in before I add the rest. Yeah, that's looking better already. So we'll add now another 1/2 cup and mix that a little bit. It's just easier to mix the milk when you add it kind of slowly instead of dumping it all in at one time. At least that's what I've found. I'm going to turn my heat back up a little bit. Okay, and then we're going to add the last 1/2 cup, so that's 1.5 cups altogether. All right, then we're just going to kind of simmer this. This is something that you want to kind of stir pretty much the whole time, but it really does go together quickly. I mean, start to finish, it's probably maybe 10 minutes. So it doesn't take up a lot of time, but it will, especially once you put the milk in, it will scorch pretty easily. So you want to keep your temperature low, and then you just want to keep stirring it pretty frequently. So now it looks like that's pretty well combined. And I like to just let it kind of go at this point and just simmer a little bit. There is one more ingredient that we'll be adding. We'll be adding some Parmesan cheese, and that will help it thicken. But for right now, I just kind of want all of this to combine really well. And at this point, you can go ahead and taste it for your seasoning if you want to. See if you need to add anything additionally. I do not cook with salt because I am a dialysis patient. But of course, if you wanted to, you could definitely add salt. You can even just add garlic salt if you wanted to. The nice thing about this is I feel like it's really versatile. You can add a lot of different flavors into it. And after I finish showing you the sauce, I'm going to show you how I'm going to use this. Just like a little variation of it. Of course, you can use Alfredo sauce for a lot of different things. And this sauce is so good, you can literally just eat the sauce with a spoon. Okay, I think I'm ready to go ahead and add the Parmesan. Recipe calls for 1/2 cup. And sometimes I'll add a little more, just depending on how it looks. You know, if I want it to be a little thicker, I'll add a little bit more of the Parmesan. And then we're just going to stir this. And then the recipe says just to simmer it for about 5 minutes at this point, because because you just want that cheese to be nice and melted in there. And of course, if you had fresh Parmesan that you grated yourself, that would be much, much better. But we're working with what we have. And you can kind of see that it's already thickened up a little bit anyway, just from adding that. So I'm going to keep simmering and stirring because I can see there's a few lumps from the cheese in there. And I will be back in just a minute to show you what it looks like. Okay guys, so here is the finished sauce. It's just simmering away here. You see it got a good bit thicker. And like I said, if you wanted it thicker than that, you could add some more of the Parmesan and that would thicken it up. But I think this is a pretty good consistency, and I'm gonna add a few things to it for what I'm gonna have for my little lunch here. And then it does, if you take the leftovers and refrigerate them the next day, it will be substantially thicker. In fact, you may even have to thin it out at that point. So I don't like to make it too thick right at the beginning. So I'm gonna, what I'm gonna do is take some of this sauce and pour it into another container, and then I'm gonna leave just what I'm gonna have to eat right now, and I will come back and show you what I'm gonna do with this. So I've got just a little bit of the sauce left in here, and what I'm gonna add is, I have a little chopped up small tomato. I just thought it sounded really good to have the Alfredo sauce with just a little bit of tomato in it. So I'm gonna kind of just get that tomato in there. I don't really want the tomato like cooked down, but I do want it heated through because I don't want to like eat my warm sauce and then have cold tomatoes in there. So I'm going to kind of let that, I probably left a little too much sauce in here, but that's okay. I'll just have leftovers for later. But yeah, I love this Alfredo sauce. Like I said, it's really versatile. Of course, I'll just eat it on pasta. Like I said, you could just sit here and eat this sauce with a spoon. It's so delicious. But then you could use it in a lot of other dishes. Like you could make like a white lasagna using the Alfredo sauce instead of a tomato sauce. All kinds of different things. This is, I like to also do, I did this last week. I did the Alfredo sauce on pasta, and I did some chicken with it, and then veggies on the side. Of course, you could do broccoli with Alfredo sauce. That's really good. So many different things that you can do with a sauce like this. And I really encourage you to try this because, like I said, it's so easy, but it's so good. Then I'm just going to throw in some pasta. And what I have here are just some shells. And that's just what I had on hand. So yeah, this is definitely going to be more than I can eat at one time. My appetite is not humongous right now. So I'll have some leftovers of this, but that's perfectly fine. So just toss that around. And that's really probably going to be cooked enough for me. I have a little bit more pasta, but I kind of like mine to be on the saucy side, not too dry. So that looks about good to me. So, like I said, that's what I wanted to share with you was this Alfredo sauce recipe. I'm going to go sit down and eat my lunch. Thanks for watching this video, guys, and I will see you in the next one.